Alright, I got more collection update stuff for you. This video's been delayed a few days because just times kept getting away from me. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and do this. Um, First up in this portion of the video, we have Resident Evil 1 right here. I recently ranked all the Resident Evil movies, so I'm going to kind of breeze through those a bit. Since I've already talked about them fairly recently with a ranking. Up next we have Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse, right there. Resident Evil 3 Extinction. Resident Evil 4 Degeneration, right here. Resident Evil 5 Afterlife. Resident Evil 6 Retribution. Resident Evil 7 Damnation. Resident Evil 8 Vendetta. Resident Evil 9 The Final Chapter. Resident Evil 10 Infinite Darkness. But this one is a TV show. Yeah, like 4 or 5 episodes. Resident Evil 11 Welcome to Raccoon City. This is a reboot of the live action franchise. Got a Blu-ray slipcover right there. And Resident Evil 12 Death Island here. Okay. Next up, we got Rest Stop, Don't Look Back. And for some reason, my DVD doesn't work on any of my viewing systems, so I gotta try and find a replacement copy. Probably a brand new one, because this one was pre-used, so I gotta try and find an unopened copy, perhaps. Then we have Ride with Bella Thorne and Jesse T. Usher and Will Brill. And it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Jesse T. Usher, I guess, is credited on the back of the case for Independence Day 2 Resurgence. Okay. This one came out, looks like 2017. And those three are the only people listed on the cast list. Which I think there were a few more people involved in it, but they're the I think like the credited roles. Next up, we got Righteous Kill with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino right here. Don't recognize the names, but I do recognize a few of these movies that are listed for some of these people. So the ones that I recognize other movies for are, I suppose, Carla Gugino from Sin City, which I've seen both of those, and Donnie Wahlberg from Saw 2 and 3, which I've seen those as well. And then I have Inside Man and Inside Man Most Wanted and that one, and the person from that one is Russell Gurwitz or Gwitz. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But cool. Moving on. Up next, we have The Ring. This is the original American version. With Naomi Watts, Martin Henderson, and Brian Cox. Music by Hans Zimmer. Here we go. Up next, we have The Ring 2 Unrated Edition. Right here, and Sissy Spacek is in this one. And with Naomi Watts returning. Alright, here we go. Up next, we have a Blu-ray DVD combo for Rings, aka Ring 3. Right here. And this one has a very hard to read cast of characters here. Okay then. Well, it's hard to read what these even say. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much longer trying to figure out what that says. We're just going to move on now. Next up is Rollerball. Right here. And the only name I recognize on here is LL Cool J, because I've seen him in some, or oh well, and Rebecca. And if she's who I think she is, she was in Steven's original X-Men trilogy. Rebecca Ramajan Stamos. But the only reason I recognize the name of LL Cool J is because a lot of my other movies have him in it. And then there's this guy again from Godzilla with Matthew Broderick. Oh, yep, that is Mystique indeed. It's on the back. It has her credited for X-Men. Nice. Oh, and Chris Klein was in the American Pie, or was in an American Pie movie, or one of them. It just says American Pie, so I'm guessing that's the original, or the first one. Okay. So, this is one that I need to try and check out from 2002. Up next, we have The Roommate. I don't recognize any of the names or faces on the front of the case here. Let's see if I recognize anyone's name on the back. I do not. Okay. That's good. Next up, one that is very good, that I would give a 10 out of 10 recommendation for, is Rose Red. Let's see here. Who's in this one? I don't really recognize any of the names on the back of here, but it's a very good movie. Definitely check out Rose Red if you haven't already. It's a very good Stephen King adaptation, and it's just a mere 254 minutes. No big deal. It's long. It's a miniseries. 2 discs. Up next, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Running Man. And the case on this is just blank black. It doesn't have like a plastic sleeve or anything like, or like a title or anything on it. Let's see. I mean, it has a plastic sleeve, but no slipcover in there. So this is the design on the case right here with the slipcover. Got Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously. And his is the only name that I actually recognize on here. So, okay then. I want to try and get the remake of The Running Man. I don't know if that one was any good or not. If you've seen the remake of The Running Man, let me know down below in the comment section if it's any good. This one's pretty good, so. Alright. Up next is right here. It's pretty gory and graphic, definitely worthy of an R rating, but it says it's not rated. And I recognize a few of the faces on the back of here. Once again, we have Mystique from the X-Men trilogy, the original X-Men trilogy on here, Rebecca Romijn. But hers is the only name that I recognize on the back of here, so yeah. Moving on. Up next, we have Scarecrow County. And I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here. Okay, it's a little on the dry side, I would say. Kind of a boring, forgettable type stuff. But not a whole lot happened in it. It's much more of a slow burn one. That's why it's a little bit more boring, because it's very slow and hardly anything actually happens. Unlike this next title, which is probably one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, because it's just extremely graphic and not in a oh, that was kind of cool way. It's like, why the heck would you do that? That's disgusting. That is Scare Package. Yeah, I think whenever I do horror rankings that include this is always in last place. So, let's see, do I recognize the cast at all? Don't even know where the cast begins when they are in the producer people. Right. It's hard to tell like where the cast list for this is, because it doesn't. It's a concept by so and so, and then yeah, it's unclear where the cast list begins on this. But yeah. The reason why this one's super disgusting, one of the kills is just extremely disturbing. Someone out in the woods gets crushed to death, having diarrhea the entire time. Pretty much. And it's disgusting. Up next is Scary Movie 1. This one is a spoof of Scream. It also spoofs a lot of other things, but it primarily spoofs Scream. So let's see. The names I recognize on the back of here are Anna Faris, Regina Hall, those are the two names that I recognize on the back of here. So yeah, so it's a really good movie though. I enjoy it. I only recognize two of the actors or actresses' names on the back of the case. Up next is, you probably guessed it, Scary Movie 2. And this one, the opening scene parodies The Exorcist, as you can tell from the Catholic priest here and the demonically possessed person there. And while it looks like it would parody Hannibal Lecter, it does not. But it's still really funny. This one has Tim Curry added to the mix. And let's see. Okay. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are both returning to the cast for this one. As well as this guy. He was in the first one as well. And so is this guy. I think those are Marlon and Shane Waynes, or Waynes. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. Wayan's. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that, but both of them are carried over from the first movie. And then we have this guy from the other movies. I can't think of the guy's real name, but he's funny. He's a funny guy. Yeah. Okay. So, Scary Movie 2, really good. Yeah, they also parodied The Matrix at one time. At one point with like one of those like freeze frame like slow motion air kick things. Yeah. Up next we have Scary Movie 3 theatrical cut. I specify theatrical cut because there's also a unrated Scary Movie 3.5, and I don't have that one yet, but I want to try and find it because it sounds even funnier than this one is, and this one's pretty dang funny. Great trilogies come in threes. Adoy. All trilogies come in threes, whether they're great ones or not. But let's see. In this one we have, once again, Anna Faris and Regina Hall returning. Actually, is Regina Hall in this one? She may have sat this one out, actually, Regina Hall. Anyway, Anna Faris is in all five of these. I wonder if she'll be in the sixth one. Queen Latifah's in this one as well. The first PG-13 of the franchise, I think. Theatrically speaking, 3, 4, and 5 are all PG-13s, but I have unrated cuts of 4 and 5. Yeah, here we go. That is stack 1. It looks like it also parodies The Ring. The O is looks like the Ring logo from the Ring series with the circle on the TV. Alright. Next stack. Next up, we have Scary Movie 4, unrated and uncensored, over 2 hours of hilarious bloopers, outtakes, deleted scenes, and more. Right here. And looks like War of the Worlds and Saw are two of the things getting parodied here, as well as The Grudge, based on the case here. Yeah, the Grudge child there. And let's see. This one has Anna Faris and Regina Hall returns for this one. I think, yeah, Dr. Phil is in this one. Dr. Phil McGraw, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Hart. So lots of big names in this one from 2006. Oh, this one says what some of the parody things are: War of the Worlds, The Grudge, The Village, and Saw. Does the other one say what it parodies? No, it does not. Yep. Do the first two say what they parody? Or did I just miss it? No. So far, only the fourth one has said what it's parodying. Interesting. Okay. And I can't tell if this one says what it's parodying or not because it's cut weird. But up next we have Scary Movie 5. I heard they're making Scary Movie 6 soon, which, hey, I'm here for it because I like this franchise. But let's see, this one looks like 2013. You know, Anna Faris returns for this one, but it looks like Snoop Dogg is in it, but I can't tell you much more than that because, as you can see, it's cut off awkwardly right there. So yeah, this was, I guess, originally going to be a Blu-ray DVD combo, but it was just a DVD inside, which is fine because that's what I was getting at the time, was just DVDs. Because when I got the Scary Movie franchise, I didn't have Blu-ray or 4K capabilities, and so I was like, well, I have these discs that I'm not able to use, type thing. Now I can use them, obviously. Up next, we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Blu-ray DVD combo with a interesting slipcover there. And here's the back of the case as well. This one is a actually very effective PG-13 horror movie. Let's see. We have no names that I recognize on here. Okay then. Yeah, really good movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. From the visionary producer Guillermo del Toro. So, up next is the original Scream. Scream 7 just came out into theaters, and I haven't seen it yet, and I really want to. I love the Scream movies. I think they're all pretty good. Some of them I like more than others, but you can check out my Scream rankings for that. But in this one, we have David Arquette, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and Drew Barrymore, and where's the Matthew Lillard as well. I'm surprised Matthew Lillard's not listed on the front because he actually played a really important role in this one. And apparently he's in the 7th one, which is fun. But yeah. Great slasher movie. In the kind of the whodunit type thing where it's like, people are getting killed, but we don't know who the killer is. Let's try and find out who the killer is. Oh, we're dead now. Oh gosh. Oh golly, we're almost all dead now. And on my channel, I can't really repeat one of my favorite lines from this. I can censor it though. I can give a different version, or like a slightly different modified version. Ow! You hit me with the phone, you jerk! If you've seen the movie, you know that jerk isn't the word used; it's a different word. But yeah, great movie. Love the Scream franchise. Next up, we got Scream 2. This one adds Liev Schreiber to the mix, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Alright. Forgot that she was added to the cast. this one. Who else? That's it. Okay. Still really good movie. Really good movie. And this one also got a threequel. Of course, it got a threequel because there's 7 of them now. But here's Scream 3. I think 4 might have been the last one that was directed by Wes Craven. But here's Scream 3. Carrie Fisher has a cameo in this. Let's see. Here's the case for Scream 3, I guess. And then next up, we have a Blu-ray slipcover for Scream 4, which has a different cover on the or a different design on the front and back of the case than it does on the slipcover. This one has Alison Brie, Adam Brody, Emma Roberts, Hayden Panettiere. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong. Her from Heroes. She's also in, I think, 5 or 6. I think 6. Anyway. And of course, returning legacy cast members, Neve Campbell, Dave Arquette, and Courtney Cox, and Neve Campbell. The Scream franchise is one that I want to get triple formatted all across the board. So far, I have one of them triple formatted, this one dual formatted, and the rest I just have DVDs for so far, but that will change eventually. All 3 cases for Scream 5 look the same, so I retained my 4K case here, the slipcover, which I guess looks the same as the case itself. So there we go. This one adds Jenna Ortega to the mix, and this is the first one I remember seeing in theaters, because the first 4 came out when I was younger, and yeah, 2011 was number 4. So this was the first one I saw in theaters, and then I also saw 6 in theaters. But actually, no, I didn't see this one in theaters because it would have been in theaters in 2021 during my mission. My bad. Never mind. But good movie. I wish it had like a 5 over here instead of just being Scream again, because Scream 1 was also called Scream, and this one's Scream. But that's okay. Next up, we have Scream 6. See, this one they changed this to look like a 6 in Roman numerals, which is one of the few Roman numerals that I know, because I know Roman numeral 1 through 10. Those are the easiest ones. Jenna Ortega returns in this one, as well as the 3 legacy actors that I've mentioned before. Samara Weaving is also in here. And Earl Hayden from Heroes is in here again. And yeah, this one came out 2 years ago, so or in 2023, it's still 3 years ago now. Wow. So this one I have seen in theaters. But yeah. Good Scream, really good Scream movie. lots of different Ghostface masks in this because it has a bunch of the masks from previous movies, which is cool. The Ghostface mask. If you're gonna if you're gonna wear a mask in a movie, either be Ghostface or a superhero, because secret or anonymous superheroes, masks, um, not not like this type of mask, like a full head mask like Superman, or just like an upper head, or not Superman, Spider-Man, my bad, or like a helmet thing like Captain America has. Either Sam Wilson or Steve Rogers, both of them have the helmet mask thing. Up next, we have Searching right here. The title's partially covered by a sticker there, but this one's a good like missing persons type movie. And so is the next one, but it has the wrong rating on it because it is PG-13, not what it says. And you'll see what it says here in a second. Up next is Missing. Right here. This one. So where this one's about a dad trying to find his missing daughter, this one is about a daughter trying to find her missing mother. Yeah, and unlike the case would lead you to believe, it is not rated R. It's PG-13. So yeah, it's kind of hard to rely on the case for this particular one. I'll have to try and find a 4K Blu-ray case because that would have the correct rating and cast information on it, because that doesn't even seem to have cast information on it, I don't think. Next up is Secret Window, again covered by a sticker right here. I also have a DVD, but the cases look the same between the DVD and the Blu-ray, or like the pictures on them, or the images on them, it did at least. So I kept this case. This one has Johnny Depp and his is the only name that I recognize on the back of here. It's based on upon the story Secret Window, Secret Garden by Stephen King. And yeah, it's okay. It's not a great movie, but it's okay. Up next, we got Seven. This is a really good one. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. Well, filmed by David Fincher. Gwyneth Paltrow is in here. And yeah, this one's pretty good. Yeah. Up next, we got The Shallows with Blake Lively. She most recently, to my knowledge, played Lady Pool in Deadpool and Wolverine. She may have had a role more recent than that even, but that's the most recent thing I've seen or heard her in, because you don't actually see her face. You see her in a Deadpool mask with a big white pony, or big blonde ponytail. But yeah, hers is the only name I recognize on the back of the case here. So here we go. I think it's it's another one of those like shark movie type things. So there we go. I would not want to be in that position if there was a shark coming, because that does not look fun. That's like you're ringing the dinner bell for the shark. Up next, we have Sharknado 1. I've done rankings on those before, so I'm going to try and go a little bit quickly through those 6 movies. Sharknado 2, the second one. Seems like that would be said with a tone of surprise. The second one. So this one, yeah, this one's set in New York. I think the first one is set in like Florida or something. Next up, Sharknado 3. Ah, hell no. Exclusive Sharktacular edition. Yeah, this one has David Hasselhoff in it at one point, and a few points actually. Yeah. Good movie. A good cheesy movie, I should say. Sharknado franchise is where the entire franchise it falls under so bad that it becomes good again type situation. Then we have Sharknado the Fourth Awakens, and here he has a ridiculous crossguard chainsaw like Kylo Ren's lightsaber at one point, because it's supposed to be a parody of Star Wars The Force Awakens. As if the name didn't give that away, Sharknado the Fourth Awakens, Star Wars The Force Awakens, very similar titles. This one looks like it's partially at least set in Vegas. So yeah, here we go. Moving on. Up next, we have Sharknado 5, Global Swarming. And like you would imagine, this one is all over the world because it's called Global Swarming. Right there, you see a Sphinx from Egypt and Big Ben from London. Which Big Ben, I recently learned, is just the clock itself, not the entire structure, I think. Or strike that, reverse it, probably. On the back of the case here, the chainsaw looks like a shark fin. That's funny. Olivia Newton-John is in this one, I guess. So, okay. Moving on. Next up is Sharknado, or the last Sharknado, Sharknado 6. And this one is a big time travel movie, so they play to that and they call it The Last Sharknado. It's about time. Because time travel. It's about time. Yeah, see what they did there. Yeah. And more shark fun. Cheesy shark fun. Next up, one that I started that, or one that I actually this is the one I think I have a different one. Anyway, one that I keep hearing that I have to check out from other YouTubers, and that is Shaun of the Dead. Right here. I've heard it's amazing. I haven't watched it yet though. We got Simon Pegg. And Bill Nighy. N-I-G-H-Y, Nighy. Or Nighy. I'm not sure how his name's actually pronounced, but it says it's a smash hit romantic comedy with zombies. Yeah, here we go. Next up, we have Shawshank Redemption, which I have a DVD and a Blu-ray for, right here. This one's just a Blu-ray case. I got the two copies separately. I think my DVD copy came in a multi-movie bundle with other things. So yeah, here we go. Morgan Freeman's in this one. Who else? Clancy Brown. James Whitman. There we go. It came out in 1994. This is another one that I keep hearing I gotta check out at least once. So I gotta get on that. The next three are in this case that looks like a book right here. So we'll go ahead and take those out. The first of the three here is Sherlock Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Right here. And my dad and I did watch this one. It's interesting. It's kind of cool. I don't recognize any of the names in this because this is an older thing, an older movie. Up next is Sherlock Holmes in The Case of the Whitechapel Vampire. This one I haven't seen yet. Right here. Yeah. And then this other one is actually some music, and that is London Symphony Orchestra Classical Terror. I've read the titles off before and most likely butchered them all as well, or butchered all the titles as well. But yeah, it's just over an hour, 62 minutes and 14 seconds there. You can pause and read the songs listed here if you want. But yeah, they're all in this cool book type, or like false book thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and it lists the titles again on the back there. So very cool. Next up, we have The Shining miniseries. This is Stephen King's version, not Stanley Kubrick's, which is right here, which we'll get to again in just a second. But this one's a bit longer. It's, I think, 273 minutes, so it's even longer than Rose Red is. And it has a double-sided disc and a second disc with part 3. The Stanley Kubrick version is better. This one lacks a elevator of blood scene, and both this and Dr. Sleep have that. We'll get to Dr. Sleep in the next stack here. But yeah. Other than the elevator of blood being absent, it does hit a lot of the what I think are like the key points of the Shining story. This one came out in 1997, which actually came out after the Stanley Kubrick version. But I have it below. Oh well. Anyway, so here we go. The Shining miniseries. Up next is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. This is my DVDs and one of these paper cases that are annoying that I kept mentioning. Apparently, she was extremely traumatized by this movie, by the production of this movie, because of how creepy and scary Jack Nicholson was acting with this particular scene. The "Here's Johnny" scene. Even people that haven't seen this know that scene. I knew that scene long before I saw this. So Shelley Duvall, that's who she is. That's who the lady is, and she was extremely traumatized by the making of this movie from that scene and had to get a lot of therapy, I guess. So yeah, it even says here's Johnny on the back after Jack Nicholson's name. So, yeah. Next up is a Blu-ray triple feature of 2001: A Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, and Stanley Kubrick's The Shining here. And the common thread here is Stanley Kubrick. The case underneath looks basically the same. 2001: A Space Odyssey was strange. Then we just talked about the Shining. I haven't finished Clockwork Orange yet, but I've saw enough of it to want to triple format. So if that's any consolation, I think it's interesting that seemingly the oddball here is 2001: A Space Odyssey, because we got 2001: A Space Odyssey rated G, and Clockwork Orange and The Shining rated R. So definitely an oddball being rated G with a couple of R ratings there. But anyway, moving on. Next stack. And we're only at 46 minutes. This one's being paced much better. Up next is, Dr. Sleep with Ewan McGregor. He plays the kid, or the grown-up kid version, or grown-up version of the kid from The Shining. He plays the grown-up version of Danny Lloyd's character, Torrance. Or Dan Torrance. So, here we go. Once again, elevator blood scene. So, there we go. That's one of the most iconic things about The Shining thing. I don't know why they didn't put even like a toned down version in the miniseries version. So, I don't know. Up next, we have Shooter. This is an action thriller with Mark Wahlberg and Michael Pena. And Danny Glover. So yeah, good movie. Up next, we have Shutter Island, and this one was had quite the plot twist at the end there. At the end of it, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm going to try not to spoil it. But it had Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Kingsley, I believe Mark Ruffalo as well. Yep. And those three are the only names that I recognize on the back of here. But yeah, quite a twist at the end. I'll have to check it. I'll have to watch it again sometime because it's a where did it say that? Where does it? Oh, on the front it says a stunning masterpiece that requires and demands multiple viewings. I've seen it once so far, so yeah, I would agree with that statement that it needs to be viewed multiple times. Up next is Elizabeth Olsen in Silent House, inspired by true events. Right here. There we go. This must have been. Oh yeah, this was before she was in Wanda in the MCU. Came out in 2011. This one came out in 2011, I should say. So who else is in this with Elizabeth Olsen? I probably impulse bought this because she is in it. Because she plays my favorite female Avenger character. I love the Scarlet Witch. And WandaVision, because I think that's a great show. It has at least one extremely catchy earworm song. Acts all along. Getting back to this purpose of this video. Up next is Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Great movie as well. I think I have 2 copies of this. I want to say the other one's in the same bundle that Creepshow 1 is in, which we'll get to shortly. Not in this video, but in one of the next ones. But yeah, I don't recognize any of the names on the back of the case here. I recognize this guy's face. I recognize him. I don't know his name. But I think Gary Busey, because I think that character is Uncle Red. So yeah, great movie. Love this one. Actually, I think we may have already covered the bundle that was in, maybe, or we probably will shortly. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Single White Female with Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh right here. Who else is in this? I think those 2 are the only names that I recognize as there's the 2 lead females. Yeah, they are. Okay. Great movie. Another one that I want a triple format with getting the 4K and the Blu-ray of. Next up is a 2-for-1 with Sinister and Sinister 2. I've had Sinister for quite a while, but I haven't watched it yet because I wanted to try and get Sinister 2. Now that I have them both, I still haven't watched either one yet because I've been watching a lot of other stuff lately. But the first one here has Ethan Hawke in it from the Before trilogy. For Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And this is unfortunately the only name that I recognize on the back of here. I think. Yeah, it is. Okay. But, yeah, it looks really cool. There he is, Ethan Hawke. And here's the second one. This one has a slipcover. That kid looks like he's pulling a Doctor Strange when he's peering through time, where he looked like Doctor Strange at one point had like 3 faces for a second. But obviously for different reasons. Doctor Strange was peering through time, and like the Time Stone, seeing alternate futures, and yeah. Don't recognize any of the names on the back of this second one here, but yeah, I look forward to checking this one out. I want to check out both, but haven't checked out either one yet. So next up we have Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts. What else is in this? There's the only name that I seem to recognize. Okay, then. So yeah, here we go. Moving on. Next up, we have Sleepy Hollow High, Terror Graduates. Yeah, I need to get a different copy because this one has a bunch of stuff stuck at the bottom. So it's kind of not in the best condition, the case, but the disc was just fine. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Up next is Slither, and I didn't initially know that this was one of or written and directed by James Gunn. I think this was one of his first movies, actually. But it has Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker. So it has three very or three big name people in it. Of course, Nathan Fillion, most recently to my knowledge, was Green Lantern, Guy Gardner in Superman last year. And Elizabeth Banks, I think my first experience with Elizabeth Banks was as the voice of Wildstyle in 2014's the Lego Movie 1. And then, of course, Michael Rooker is or was Yondu in the MCU in the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. But I think he lent his voice to a few of the animated portrayals of Yondu. But yeah, interesting movie. Not super good, but not super bad either. It's kind of odd. It doesn't really fit in with a bunch of James Gunn's more recent stuff, but it's written and directed by it, so it's like, is this kind of like an oddball, or what's going on here type thing. So yeah. Up next is Smile. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the second one either, and I want to see both of them, but I only have the first one so far. But yeah. I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here, except, well, hold on. I recognize, Kal Penn and Kyle Gallner. I think I recognize both of those names. I know I recognize Kal Penn because I've seen him in other things right there. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Kyle Gallner was a Flash-like character in Smallville. They called him Impulse or Bart Allen, but if that name is who I'm thinking it is, then that's where I would recognize him from. Anyway, here we go. Moving on. Next up, we have Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson. Impulse buy for Samuel L. Jackson, like a lot of his movies. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Next up, we have Some Kind of Hate with Sierra McCormick playing a very different role from what I've ever seen her in before. Because before watching this, the only thing I could remember seeing her in was Ant Farm, and this is very, very different from Ant Farm, the TV show. But yeah, here we go. That's her, Sierra McCormick. She plays the killer in this one. Next up, we have Sorority Row, and I think this one might be the same title, just for some reason having a subtitle this time. Sorority Row, Serment Mortal. Again, Carrie Fisher's in both of these. Matt Lanter is as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure these are both the same movie, but I like them both. They're both good movies, even if they are both the same movie potentially. I still thoroughly enjoy both of them. So yeah, okay. Moving on. Next up, we have Species 1, 2, 3, and 4, The Awakening. We'll get to those other ones again in just a second. Ben Kingsley and Alfred Molina and Forest Whitaker are all in the first one here. So, let's see. This one introduces Natasha Heinzertson, right? Or Henstridge. Not sure how her last name's pronounced, but yeah, when she's not in full-on alien mode, she is, as it says, somewhere in the back here. I just saw it. A beautiful human-alien hybrid. When she's in human mode, she is really beautiful. So yeah, there's that. And I also have the second one here. This one has Natasha returning to it, and hers is the only name on the back of here that I recognize because she was carries over from the first movie. Still beautiful and dangerous. So yeah. Next up is the third one. Okay. And we also have the third one here. This one has a special appearance by Natasha from the first two, but she's not the main character of this one. This one has pretty much a whole new cast except for her cameo or her special appearance. Kind of cameo, I guess. But yeah. That's what the alien mode looks like right over here. So you can see why I say when she's in human mode she's beautiful. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Species: The Awakening. This is the fourth one. Yeah. Also very attractive girl there. I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here for this one, however. But it is still a really good movie, though. All four of them are really good movies. I don't think this particular franchise had a miss in there. Or misfire. The whole franchise is good from beginning to end, I think. That's just me. And up next we have The Spiderwick Chronicles, where Freddie Highmore plays two characters. He plays twins. What else is in this? The voice of Seth Rogen and Martin Short. Both of them lend their voice to this. Mary Louise Parker is in it. Came out in 2008, which was after the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Apparently, because it lists Freddie Highmore as being in that. He's been in a bunch of stuff since, like The Good Doctor, Bates Motel, and other stuff as well. I think the slipcover looks the same as the regular cover. It does. Okay. So moving on. Yeah. Moving on. Next up, we have the 2-series collection of The Stand original miniseries and the remake right here. I have 2 copies of the original one, but I kept the version that was in this bundle. But so here's the original series. This one I have seen, and it's pretty good. It's been a while since I watched it, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it. Rob Lowe is in it at least one point because his name is on the back here. 4 episodes. a minute shy of being 6 hours long. It's 5 hours and 59 minutes. So yeah, that one's cool. Looks like the new version has James Marsden from the Fox X-Men franchise and Avengers Doomsday, because he was in one of the teasers. This remake version came out between 2020 and 2021. It says both years on here. This one is 8 hours and 29 minutes, basically 8.5. Doesn't list it. Okay, it sneaks the cast list into the description here, so instead of having an actual cast list at the bottom like the other one did. We got Whoopi Goldberg, Alexander Skarsgård, James Marsden, J.K. Simmons. Yeah. So a lot of big names in this one. So yeah, here's the remake version. I haven't watched any of this one yet. I don't think. But this one's 9 episodes long, where the other one is 4 episodes long. There we go. Yeah, I look forward to checking these out, or the second one, I should say, the remake series. Next up, we have Storm of the Century, another Stephen King adaptation. This one, I don't recognize any of the names listed on here. It's 256 minutes, so it's another one of those mini-series with a double-sided disc. But PG-13. Came out in 1999. I need to check this out to have more in-depth thoughts on it. It does have an insert in here with listing a few other titles. Some of them I might check out, some of them I might not. Yeah, it lists a lot of other titles actually. So yeah, I'll check those out and try and see if I can find any of them later. Next up, we have The Strangers Killer 2 movie collection. This is the original and The Strangers Prey at Night. I haven't seen Strangers Chapter 1, 2, or 3. I want to try and get them all, including these two, triple formatted. I have seen these two. Liv Tyler's in the original. Hers is the only name that I recognize, though, from that one. And then, let's see. The second one has Johannes Roberts from 47 Meters Down. Yeah, that's the only name that I recognize on the back of here. Although I recognize one of the faces as well. I can't tell what her name is, but it's the girl from that I pointed out earlier, that was Maxine Russo, and when Alex and Justin Russo in Wizard of Waverly Place accidentally turned their younger brother into a little girl. It has her in it. Don't remember the actress's name. I don't know it off the top of my head, but and it's really hard to read the names on the back here. I want to say Billy Madison. or Bailey Madison, I mean, but I don't know if that's right or not. Anyway, moving on. Don't want to spend too much time trying to figure that out. Next up, we have Suicide Kings with Christopher Walken. And his is the only name I recognize. Although I recognize another one of the actor's face, but I don't know the guy's actual name. And that is this guy, because he was Captain Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I is kind of in 2, but primarily in the first one. So yeah. Dennis Leary, I want to say, is that guy's name. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time trying to figure out the character actors' names like that, as that would be boring. Just trying to be like, oh, and I can try and point out like the different roles that they've played, but sometimes I don't know their names. And yeah. Up next we have excuse me, Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley in Suspect Zero, right here. Who else is in this one? There's the only two names that I recognize. Okay then. We have, that would make Trevor Slattery meets Harvey Dent, Two-Face from the Dark Knight trilogy. Before they were in either of those two franchises. Cool. Next up, we have Johnny Depp in Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Right here. This is an interesting slipcover. That's a cutout section, so you can actually see the case underneath it. Let's see. I'll just leave that off for a second. Who else is in this? Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Alan Rickman. Three big names right there. Yeah. There we go. Here's that. And the back of the case looks, our slipcover looks like that. It's a very interesting design for a slipcover, honestly. I like that. So yeah. Up next is Swimming Pool. I want to try and find a Blu-ray for this one. It's a, according to Jeffrey Lyons from NBC TV, it's a juicy thriller. And according to these two people here, it is wickedly delicious, and I really like this one. This is a good one. I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, I don't recognize any of the actor or actress's names. But it's such a good movie. I want to try and find a Blu-ray for this one. I like it a lot. Next up, we have Swordfish, Password Accepted. This one has John Travolta, Don Cheadle, Hugh Jackman, and Halle Berry in it. All four of which have appeared in various Marvel movies. But I think this might have been, this came out just after X-Men 2000, and this one came out in 2001. So, yeah. Here we go. It has one of those annoying paper cases. From this side to this side, the character, their Marvel roles that I've seen them in are Storm. She was the OG Storm. John Travolta played the bad guy. I don't remember the bad guy's name in the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, but he played that character. And Don Cheadle, he's War Machine. And of course, everyone knows Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. and he does a phenomenal job as Wolverine. And here's the inside of the case with the chapter selection and this picture as well. Yeah, I really don't like these types of cases, but good movie though. Next up, we have Taking Lives with Angelina Jolie and Ethan Hawke. Yeah, anyway. Sometimes when I say Hawk, it sounds like I'm saying hot, but I'm not. I get that criticism a lot when I talk about Agent Barton being Hawkeye. So, anyway, Kiefer Sutherland is also in this. I saw his name and his face at the same time. I was like, oh, I know that guy. I don't know, I don't personally know him, but I've seen him in other things. That's like I know of him, that type of thing. Yeah, and then so yeah, I haven't seen this one yet, but I'm interested to check it out. Next up, we have Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson in the Terror right here. I don't know when this one came out, but I think it must be an older one because Boris Karloff was the first thing I remember seeing him in was where I was like, hey, that's Boris Karloff, was 1931, the Frankenstein movie. I don't think it's called The Frankenstein, it's just Frankenstein, but the one from the Universal Classic Monsters collection. Yeah, it has one of those weird cases, but I prefer these to the paper ones. So, or those weird cardboard ones that a couple of the other things were from previous videos. Up next, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This one came out in, I'm not sure because it's the cast list and the release year thing are pretty blurry. But it's a prequel to the original, which we'll get to in just a second. Yeah. 91 minutes. Why did I put 91 minutes on here if it says 89 at the bottom? Anyway, I don't know. As far as the cast is concerned, I don't recognize any of the names. But yeah. Here we go. Right there. Next up, since it's also kind of an origin story, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, we have the origin story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. And this one came out in 2017, but since it's set before the original, as well. I think as far as the discs are concerned, the disc is still after the original, but I could be wrong. I may have switched it by now. I don't recognize any of the names on the back here, but it's an interesting movie. I've seen all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that I own. I think there's one or two that have come out after, or that came out after this one that I haven't seen and can't find any trace of. But yeah, here we go. Down just a little bit. There. Next up, I have 2 copies of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got the DVD steelbook first, and it looks amazing. And the movie is pretty good. Apparently, it's banned in the U.S. now, which is weird because I found this copy after hearing that this was indeed banned. But anyway, this one implies a lot more than it shows with the terror aspects and whatnot. Like it shows when someone gets killed by a chainsaw, it shows another person's like 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 terrified response to seeing that happen, but it doesn't actually show the person getting chainsawed. And it's a good movie. And in true Steelbook fashion, it has a picture inside here, right here. And this lady was about to get placed on a meat hook that's behind her. It's right over here. There's a meat hook that she's getting about to get hung on. So that's why she's making a terrified face like that. Anyway, here is the same, or a regular case for that version, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Special Edition right here. I'm not sure why or what's special about this version because I watched the Steelbook version, but maybe this has deleted scenes or something. Maybe not because they're both 84 minutes. Anyway, we'll see. Must have like a bunch of special features. Yeah, it has a bunch of special features listed here. So yeah, here we go. Second copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Next up, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, right here. Yeah. Next up is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Not to be confused with the origin story, Leatherface. This one is just Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. If you want, you can strike that, reverse it, and make it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface. But yeah. Here we go. Next up, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is, I think, the 2003 or 4 remake, something like that. It's in Roman numerals, so I can't definitively say. Anyway, here we go. This version. Jessica Biel's in this one. And hers is the only name that I recognize. Wow. Okay. Next up, we have Texas Chainsaw. This is the 2012 version. It says it in regular numbers. I think this one might be a like a requel or a spiritual sequel or something. But I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here. And I'm not recognizing any of the faces that are on the back of there either, other than obviously Leatherface because the mask is iconic. The leather mask like that. But here we go. Texas Chainsaw. And next up we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. And since it's The Next Generation, I placed it after all the rest of them, even though it came out in 1994. What else is in this one? I would potentially recognize the names of. No one, just Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, here we go. Next up, we have Thanksgiving. In big red letters on the back, it says there will be no leftovers. This one has Patrick Dempsey. And this, I think, is the only name that I recognize on the back of here. Yep, sure is. Okay. I watched this one on Thanksgiving in 2024. And honestly, I hope they make a second one. This one was pretty good. So yeah, here we go. That's the guy that I recognized. Yeah, he plays the sheriff, and there's a plot twist that involves him. Next up, we have a triple feature with The Thing from Another World, John Carpenter's The Thing, and The Thing prequel version from, I want to say that 2011. Yes, it says in parentheses and in English instead of using Roman numerals. Thank goodness. The original, or this one, from top to bottom, here on the image here, from top to bottom, we have Kurt Russell in the 1982 version. His is the only name that I recognize there, other than John Carpenter, because he did the Halloween movie, or the first two at least, Halloweens. And then we have in the black and white one in the middle here, we have no names that I recognize, because it came out in 1951. And in the 2011 prequel version, we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And I feel like I recognize more than just that, but I can't make out any of the other names. Anyway, all three are really good, so check them out if you haven't already, if you're interested. Next up, we have The Tie That Binds, and I don't recognize any of the names listed on the front of the case here. I don't recognize any of these names. And that trend continues on to the back. I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here either. So apparently Daryl Hannah was in Kill Bill. It says on the back here. But I haven't watched this one all the way through, I don't think. I think I started it one day and then got distracted. But I want to try and find a DVD for this one at least. This is just standalone Blu-ray. Blu-ray combo. Next up is Truth or Dare. I watched the theatrical cut for this one, and it's pretty good. This is a DVD Blu-ray combo with an unrated director's cut. I've watched the theatrical version, not the unrated version yet, but I was impressed with the theatrical cut. So, yeah. Let's see. What's in this one? I recognize the name Lucy Hale. I don't remember what else I would have seen her in, but I recognize the name, and it's a good movie. Check it out. Next up, we have The Turning. This was the first movie in 6 years to scare me after my previous breakup from 2016. Gosh, that's been almost 10 years now. Wow. Oof. But this was the first movie in that time, post second breakup, to scare me, and it's a good movie. It has Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and It Chapters 1 and It Chapter 2 in here. It actually credits him for Stranger Things because that's apparently his most famous appearance in it. And even though he was in both of the It chapters at this point, because this one looks like it came out in 2020. PG-13 horror movie. Very good, though. Very good. The PG-13 doesn't hold it back at all. It's like I said, it's the first movie to scare me, and at that point, 6 years. So there you go. Because I watched it in mid 2022. Up next, we have Twilight Zone, the movie. There's someone's address is on the bottom there, so I'm covering that. Who's in this one? I don't recognize. Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's the name I recognize in here, as well as I think John Lithgow. Is he the guy that I recognize from Nightmare on Elm Street? This guy was in the original and the third Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I don't think I actually know his actual name. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too long trying to figure that out. This is a PG-13 movie. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Next up, we have The Unborn. I watched the theatrical cut for this, which is PG-13. I have not watched the unrated cut yet. But also a really good movie. You got Gary Oldman in here, and Idris Elba. I don't remember Idris Elba being in here actually, so I'll have to revisit this one. But yeah, good movie. Came out in 2008. There's only a 1 minute difference in the run times. The theatrical cut is 1:28, and the unrated one is hour and 29. So yeah, I'll have to check out the unrated cut and see if Idris Elba, if I can point out Idris Elba in there, because not an actor you would forget that's in things. Idris Elba is another one of those actors like Samuel L. Jackson, where he's like steals all the moments that he gets, all the scenes he's in. He like it's like, whoa, Idris Elba, cool type thing. But yeah, anyway. Next up, we have Under the Skin. I've watched this like 6 times, and I still don't quite understand what the story is that they're going for here. It has Scarlett Johansson in it. Who else in this that I would recognize? Seems like just her. Hers is the only name that I recognize on the back of here. ScarJo's. So yeah, interesting movie, but I still don't really understand it after seeing it 6 times. So there you go. Up next is Unearthed. The wrath of 900 years is about to awake. Should probably say awaken, but it just says awake. Interesting. Anyway, I haven't seen this one yet. It's another one of those After Dark Horror Fest movies, though. I've got a lot of these type of things. I'll go ahead and read the blurb on the back of here. It says, a vicious creature that's been trapped for 900 years gets unearthed during an archaeological dig in the middle of a desolate town. As the carnage escalates, the local sheriff and a group of stranded civilians must find a way to destroy the creature that only has one mission: complete annihilation. That sounds so cool. Why have I not checked this out so far? This sounds so cool. I don't recognize any of the characters' names on the back, or actors' names on the back of here, but here we go. Does this one have this one doesn't, for some reason, have a list of other titles included in the After Dark Horror Fest collection that it's from. Oh, look, another After Dark Horror Fest movie, Unrest. This one I also haven't seen yet, but here we go. Unrest. Yeah, I need to check this one out as well. Cast. I don't recognize any of the names in the cast list. This one does have a list of other, or it says 2 other lists of movies. I wonder. Oh, you know what? One of these is supposed to be in the other case. So this one goes in here, I think. Because it has After Dark Warfest in yellow, whereas this one has it in red. Okay then. So that's squared away. Next up, we have Untraceable with Diane Lane. Yeah, this one's a pretty hard watch because it deals with a tech-savvy internet predator trying to pull off a bunch of Saw franchise type murders while trying to remain untraceable, as the title would suggest. This one came out in 2008, and it's pretty horrific at times. So yeah, watch it if you dare. Yeah. Next up, we have Vacancy with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. Right here. And the second one's actually a prequel, which is interesting. Interesting direction to take it as second installment, to have it be a prequel in a two movie franchise. I don't see how this is Psycho meets Saw. I definitely see the Psycho aspects, but not the Saw ones. It says it's Psycho meets Saw. You'll be squirming in your seat, according to Larry Carroll of MTV News. But yeah, it's a good movie. I just don't see the Saw side of things there. Anyway, next up is Vacancy 2, the first cut. If the camera's on you, you're dead. Essentially, that's basically what it says. That right at the bottom there. If the camera's on you, you're dead. But yeah. Again, there's definitely Psycho elements, but yeah. Both are good movies, though. I just don't see how they have Saw elements, just Psycho ones. Anyway, moving on, we got 2 more stacks to get through, and we're at an hour 38. Up next, we have The Vampire's Assistant, Cirque du Freak. Right here. And we have Josh Hutcherson, Ray Stevenson, Willem Dafoe. A few big names right there. Yeah. Has an interesting looking, like, super speed design here. I gotta check this one out. It looks good. Next up, we have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Right here. Obviously, it's sort of under V for vampire. Who do we have in this one? Anthony Mackie and Mary Elizabeth Winstead Steeder are in here. Rufus Siegel, Dominic Cooper. Came out in 2012. Right here. Looks interesting. Sounds like a weird concept. But, okay. What do you know? Up next is Vampires by John Carpenter here. This one, who's in this one? I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here. Oh boy. Okay then. Vampires. I think I have seen that one, but it's been a while. Up next is Van Helsing: The London Assignment. Hugh Jackman voices Van Helsing. This is a prequel to this version here. Yeah, I'll read the lower or both blurbs here, I guess. Robbie Coltrane is also in this. He was Hagrid in Harry Potter. This one's only 33 minutes. Wow. Okay then. Anyway, I'm gonna read the blurb here. It says, on the winding and fog-enshrouded streets of London, the sinister being known only as Mr. Hyde terrorizes the city in a haunting spree of mayhem and murder. With the populace in a panic, the legendary monster hunter Van Helsing arrives in London on a mission to track down and capture the elusive Mr. Hyde. Starring Hugh Jackman as the voice of Van Helsing, this original animated film will thrill you with cutting-edge visuals and non-stop action. Experience a Van Helsing adventure that takes place before the events of the blockbuster film, aka this one, which we'll get to again in just a second. Here we go. I have seen this, and I thought it was pretty good. I liked this one. Kate Beckinsale is in this one with Hugh Jackman. Theirs are actually the only two names that I recognize on the back of here. But yeah, it's not as bad as people try and make it sound. It's pretty good actually. I like it. Came out in 2004, so still early on in his Wolverine career. I think when this came out, he had maybe just wrapped up with X-Men: The Last Stand, or maybe it was in between X-Men 2 and X-Men: The Last Stand, 2 and 3, that is. I like it. Good movie. Up next, we have Vanishing on 7th Street, right here. And Hayden Christensen is in this one. His is the only name I recognize on the back of here, though. So yeah, came out in 2010. So when he was on a hiatus from playing Anakin Skywalker, because of course he returned in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, as well as Ahsoka, which I just found out and I'm very disappointed by them canceling Ahsoka season 2. What the heck? Why? I want Ahsoka season 2. That would be awesome. The first season I thought was really good, and I want to know more about what Grand Admiral Thrawn's been up to, but hopefully they still touch up on that, on what Thrawn is up to, and Ahsoka shows up in other things in live action, but why are they not having Ahsoka season 2? Come on now. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Vanquish with Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman. She was Batwoman in Batwoman season 1, and Morgan Freeman's been in a ton of stuff, including playing Lucius Fox in the Dark Knight trilogy. Who, in a way, was kind of, in addition to Alfred being Batman's guy in a chair, Morgan Freeman was also one of those types of characters where he helped Batman get his gadgets and whatnot, and eventually he got so used to Bruce Wayne asking, "Does it come in black?" that in one of the movies, or at one point he's like, "And yes, before you ask, it does come in black." So here we go. He's also in both Red movies, Retired, Extremely Dangerous. But, who else is in this thing other than those two? There's the only two names I recognize. Okay, then. So, good movie. I liked it. A lot of kills in there. Because basically, Morgan Freeman's character uses Ruby Rose's character to wipe out all his enemies and get a bunch of his money back from them that they were holding on to. And she gets a cut out of it if she gets a cut of the money when she's done, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Then we have Venom, not to be confused with the Tom Hardy Venom. This is a horror movie Venom. This one also predates the Marvel version, or well, not the Marvel movie version. It predates Tom Hardy's Venom, I should say. So I think it came out in 2005. But I don't recognize any of the names on the back of the case here. This one is a voodoo thriller. So yeah, okay. Yeah. It's been a while since I've watched that. Next up, we have VHS right here. And 2 movies from this franchise. I think there's at least 6, maybe 7 of them. But I want to try and get more of the franchise because I personally like them. They're bizarre, but they're supposed to be more of those found footage type things. And I think it works pretty well. I like it. Up next is VHS 94, which I believe is set in 1994. That's why it says 1994 or 94 like that. Yeah. So yeah, here we go. Running back, and the case underneath looks the same as the slip cover. Okay. Next up, we have Jean-Claude Van Damme in Wake of Death. Right here. Haven't seen it yet. And yeah, Van Damme's name is the only one on here that I recognize. So there we go. Next up is The War of the Worlds. This is the color 1953 version. Must have been colorized because I think it was originally in black and white, if I'm not mistaken, because of the 50s, coming out in the 50s. I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here. But since it is so dang old, it is rated G. The next version we'll come to in just a second is PG-13. But yeah, here we go. War of the Worlds, 1953. Yeah. Next up is Tom Cruise in the War of the Worlds. Here we go. Dakota Fanning is also in this one from 2005. Yeah. Next up is a horror bundle here that I got for War of the Worlds 2, The Next Wave. And this one also has, it's a 15 movie bundle here. We have Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, The Prophecy 2, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, Other 3, Legacy, Existence, spelled interestingly, EXISTENZ for some reason. Children of the Corn 6, Isaac's Return. Darkness, War of the Worlds 2, The Next Wave. Monster. Live Animals. Paranormal Entity. Invasion of the Pod People. Sounds like an Invasion of the Body Snatcher type thing right there. Howling 4, the original Nightmare, a prequel. The Apocalypse and Mortuary. Yeah, a couple of these I have seen. A couple of them I've seen. I've seen Mortuary, I've seen Howling 4 and Curse of Michael Myers all the way through, I know for a fact. Yeah, here we go. Here's the back of the case. And we're moving on. Next up, we have Warm Bodies. Apparently, the cure to being a zombie is to fall in love, according to this. It's the greatest zombie love story ever told, apparently. We have Tessa Thompson, Nicholas Hoult, Dave Franco, John Malkovich. Bunch of big names there. Zombie violence, or PG-13 for zombie violence and some language. But yeah, I really like this one. It's funny. It's cute. Next up, we have The Wedding Guest, Dev Patel. I don't recognize, other than his, I don't recognize any of the names on the back of here. But I like the movie. I watched it. It's good. Check it out if you haven't already. Up next is White Noise 1. This one has Michael Keaton in it. Who else is in this one? This is the only name I recognize. Okay. Well, one name I do recognize is a huge superstar name. Everyone knows Michael Keaton. Or who Michael Keaton is, I should say. And it's a good movie. I like this one. I liked it so much that I got the sequel but haven't watched it yet. This one has Nathan Fillion. This is White Noise 2. Who else is in this one? We got Nathan Fillion. And this is the only name I recognize. Okay, then. Both are PG-13 horror movies, which is interesting because usually horror movies are generally rated R. Next up, we have Kate Beckinsale in Whiteout. I think I watched part of this and got distracted. Common thread in this video. Start watching something and getting distracted. But anyway, yeah, moving on. There's the back of the case, and here we go. Next up, we have Nicolas Cage in The Wicker Man. And it includes shocking alternate ending not seen in theaters. Originally PG-13, it also includes a not rated cut, I guess, because it says UR plus rated, or unrated plus rated. Although I don't see where it indicates that it has a not rated copy in here, other than it saying on the front. Like it doesn't have a unrated. It contains material different from the original theatrical PG-13 cut or anything on here for some reason. But here we go. The unrated version, I guess, is on side A, and the theatrical on side B of the disc. So double-sided disc. Double-sided discs aren't all that common anymore. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence. And who else is in here? Ferris is the only name I recognize. On the front of the case, it also says John Hawkes on here, but I don't recognize his name. But here we go. Got it. This one at a yard sale. Yeah, I'm gonna try and finish off this particular stack, and then upload this one and do this last stack in a separate video, I think, a little bit later. Up next is The Witch Blu-ray. I had a DVD at one point, and then I got rid of it for some reason, and then I found a Blu-ray and decided to revisit it, and I liked it a little bit better the second time around. This one has Anya Taylor-Joy in it, and it's set in 1630 New England. And yeah, here we go. Came out in 2015. Good movie. I liked it. Upon the second viewing, I liked it. The first time I didn't, but the second time it grew on me. And from After Night Horror Fest Collection 3, we have From Within, right here. That image looks creepy with the smoke coming out of the eyes like that. I don't recognize any of the names on the back here. I think I recognize this guy's, or one of the guy's faces that's on the back of here. I think he might have been in Watchmen. But I don't recognize any of the names listed. Anyway, looks cool. Next up, kind of a 2-for-1 here, because they're the same title. The cases do look different, so that's why I kept the DVD and the Blu-ray case. That is for the 2009 Wolfman movie with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. And who else? Music by Danny Elfman. Emily Blunt and Hugo Weaving are also in here. Yeah, good movies. I watched both versions, so hence the plural movies. I've seen both versions. I liked them. Next up, we have The Woman in Black 1 with Daniel Radcliffe here. I watched this one a long time ago. I don't really remember a whole lot about it, honestly, other than him being in it. And his is the only name on the back of the case that I recognize. Although I think there was another character that I recognize the face of. I just don't know the name of the guy for some reason. But yeah, there we go. Next up, and last for this video, we have The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. Right here. And this one I don't, let's see, hold on. Yeah, this one I don't recognize any of the names on the back of the case for it, but like the first one, it is also PG-13. So yeah, there's that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you make it all the way through the video, put let's see, trying to find a code word here to use for this. I guess put Vampire Hunter in the comments down below as the code word or code phrase, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.